Okay, it's still May 7th, and we are back in conference committee between the Senate and the House institutions. So, Madam Chair.
Yes, so we're going to offer a package here. And we're going to look at the cash because we know that's the most important thing for folks. And also we want to help our countries and the appropriations world as well. We're looking at the 3 Bs.
Let me ask you a question just before. Do you have it new spreadsheet or are we just working on it?
Because it's, let's work on this one. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
So we have the 3 Bs, and I just want to put this in context a little bit in terms of what the House position was. When this came to us, it was bonded dollars. It was not cash. It was bonded dollars, and we had concern about opening this up on the capital bill, number one. The projects like this is about 12, 14 other projects very similar to these out there that could come into the capital bill. There was concern what the dollars are going to be used for and using bonded dollars. Our committee was pretty strong, and there was some strong feelings about this, and we were going to members wanted to zero this out. We would, and working with some testimony, working with committee members, we decided to have it done through the general fund in the appropriations, because we did not want to open up the capital bill to these projects, because once you open up the capital bill to some outside projects, it's not state-owned projects, then others come to the door. And we have some pressures that are going to be building with our capital bill. We're building a new correctional facility for the women's, which is going to run about $100 million. We have some money put aside for that. We are also looking at replacing the Woodside facility. And right now we're working with a developer with a design build project. We don't know how that's going to play out in Virginia. That's going to be another substantial amount of money if we do it within the capital budget. So I got the committee agreed to put $2 million and move it over to the general fund. And we moved part of the cash fund over to the general fund. So it was under the Agency of Commerce and Community Development. So what we're putting on the table for you in this package is keep it in the capital bill, which is different than what we had originally as a committee. Mm-hmm. And keep it at our 2 million and not the 3. We also are working on some language to go with that, to give some direction that the dollars would go for public infrastructure to a municipality. John's tied up with Ways and Means. We were hoping by 4 o'clock that we could have some language to present, but he hasn't been able to put anything together. But that's the concept, the broad framework in terms of what the dollars will be used for. So we're putting out, we keep it in our capital bill. We don't list what the projects are. We do some language that it would be for housing infrastructure, something to that effect. So we're not drawing attention to where it's going to be. And it would be $2 million in cash. So we keep it in the cash fund, keep it in the capital bill. And then that extra 1.1, we would make the White River Junction courthouse whole again in cash. So we keep the cash at $8 million. And we would also ask that the $625,000 that came over from your Senate appropriations for the forts and parks, fire apparatus, for the recovery house, and blanket on the third one here, the Montpelier study, that's $625 in cash gets moved back to appropriations committee, because that's where it originally all started. So move it back to the appropriations, the big job. And by doing that, we would also accept your proposed language on having general fund do the study of the cash. Your proposed study. So that's where we are. I'm sorry it took so long, but we wanted to get some language to go with the 2 million for the Bs. And our village council was tied up with education, so we haven't had the opportunity to work through, but I'm dedicated to doing some language for that we can do.
Okay.
And it would be some parameters, to give some direction in terms of where those dollars go. Municipalities, public infrastructure. Make sure it's not going to a private developer, that type of thing. Maybe I really look for public infrastructure for that.
Mhm.
So that's what we're offering on the table.
Okay, so let me, make sure I understand that we understand. So on the 3Bs, we keep the funding in the capital bill at $2 million instead of 3.1
Cash.
in the cash. Just wanted, okay, great. We don't list the projects. We make sure that the funding goes to public infrastructure.
Mhm.
Okay, and then the White River Junction, the 1.1
Stays cash
stays cash.
and goes to make that 8 million total. in
Right.
cash. So we keep as much cash as we possibly can
Okay,
for that. And then what the Senate approach gave you, those 3 projects. Let's give
Right.
that
fire,
project and the dollars back to approach so they can include it in the big bill. And that, again, that opens up our capital bill.
Mhm.
When you start doing that, we're gonna start having all sorts of people coming in to buy houses. It's not state-owned property. It's much better to do that in big bill to help you out with that.
and it came from the big bill.
And it came from the big bill. So
Okay.
I'm saying, let's give it back, but let's keep some cash. Let's keep that 3 million in cash.
Okay, and the proposal is also to accept our proposed language on discussing the cash versus bonded.
Yeah.
The JFO, and also, with public infrastructure, that would also have language.
Yeah, well, we gotta work with John on that, since he's so focused on education, but we wanted to at least get this out,
Right,
so we get this part resolved.
and so then we'll discuss this. So, I don't have any questions. Do you have questions?
If they don't have them asked, if they do, I'll ask. This leaves 450,000 not spent that otherwise we're spending on.
There was sleeps 105,000, because they gave you 2.73 and 625. It's gone towards those 3 projects, so there is still some cash left, what they gave you.
Okay, do you have any questions?
Where's the difference between the 2 million and the, on the beach project, where's that extra money landing that that we had in there? We have 1.1, we had $3.3 million in there. Where's the 1.3 million dollars ending up after that?
For 1.1, you had 3.
Okay, then where's the one, where's the one?
1.1, we're
Right,
making the White River Junction whole
okay.
at 8 million.
And so where's that $1.1 million
We're not there
go?
yet. We're not there,
Okay.
because that's bonded dollars, so we're not there yet. We really want to take care of the cash piece first.
Because the purpose of being.
Okay, so are you anticipating, how many more meetings are you
Well,
anticipating?
we have to respond.
Obviously, we
We've
have
gotta
to respond,
respond
right?
to
So we need time to do that,
I really wanted to get the cash thing taken care of first.
get that done
Because that's one of
today.
the most important things, so
Okay.
you can respond to that. And I think. I mean, we could continue meeting or we could do it tomorrow morning, but I really want to get the cash taken care of. Because we have some colleagues who need to know what direction we're headed.
Right.
So
Understand,
I want to be respectful of that as well.
okay, well, I think we have the information that we need to discuss it.
So how much time do you think we can meet again today?
I would say 45 minutes, at the most, half an hour. If we could do it. Yeah,
And again, the language,
the language is,
need the language.
yes, and I think we can agree on the intent of the language.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss that too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
great.